Hey guys, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. Glad you guys are back for another video, where tonight we are previewing the 6:05 matchup between the Sioux Falls Storm and the Jacksonville Sharks. Now, before we get into it, this is going to be a fun game. I know for some people it doesn't sound fun when you talk about two 1-6 teams, but hear me out here. Let's talk about this preview, and I'll tell you why I am probably excited for this game more than a couple of others on this slate. So, preview card popping up here. Let's get into it. 6:05 p.m. Central Time, YouTube and Caffeine TV, live from the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida. The 1-6 Sioux Falls Storm head down south to take on the Jacksonville Sharks. 1-6 on the record of themselves, only 1-2 in the East. So they technically are higher up on the standings just based on conference win percentage. Just the way the schedule's set. I don't make it. Bring it up with the big man. Whatever. But anyway, let's talk some statistical leaders, if my tongue doesn't get tied. Lorenzo Brown, leading in the passing category, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 259 yards. Bryson Denley, leading in the rushing category. That is not correct. I don't know where 75 carries, 352 yards, and 10 touchdowns came from. Well, Bryson Denley is by far the greatest runner in the indoor football league. That is not correct. I believe he has 97 yards. I don't know where those numbers came from. I'll tell you that right now. I'm looking at that sheet. That's a screw up by me. Bryson Denley, Indoor Football League Hall of Fame after that one. Kentrez Bell, leading receiver. Claude Davis, Amin Black, and Elijah Reed are your leading defensive statistical categories. On the Jacksonville side, before I get my tongue even more tied up, Fred Payton Jr. leading in rushing and passing. Cam Solomon is your leading receiver. Ulrich Jones, Sir Zion Dance, and Harrison Poole all lead their respective defensive categories. Now, talk about a little bit of an elephant in the room. Lorenzo Brown and Bryson Denley are there because Max Hall was cut. He's not on the team anymore. Lorenzo Brown's team from here on out. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Let's talk about players to watch, though. I've got Carlos Thompson. He had a pretty good game against Quad City, even though they didn't come out with a victory. 6 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know I have harped on this damn near every preview, every recap, everything else. Those are statistics I like to see. That is the passing game that I expect from Sioux Falls and that I expected all the way back in February. To have players like Carlos Thompson and Kentrez Bell getting 6 catches, 79 yards, and being able to catch some touchdowns, sling it all over the field, that's what I'm expecting. I don't understand why it took this long to do it if it took a completely different quarterback. It's not to say that Max Hall, that's a former BYU quarterback, Billy Hall, I don't know why Billy Hall, I'm not saying he's bad or anything like that. What I'm saying, though, is is a steep learning curve, I don't know. But to have that stat line for Carlos Thompson is very promising for Sioux Falls. Defensive back Elijah Reed. On the other side, you know Jacksonville's going to throw it. You know they've got a good stable of wide receivers. Elijah Reed, 8.5 tackles, half a tackle for a loss. There's an extra period in there because that's how good he was. He is having a great season. As I said in their previous preview against Quad City, he is having a sneaky good season. You don't expect it from him, or really from Sioux Falls right now based on their record, but Elijah Reed, 45 tackles. 4 pass breakups, one forced fumble, 3 tackles for a loss, and you see it all right there. He's having a good season. He has to come up huge. He has to come up huge in this game. Cover Cam Solomon, cover Tamarian Terry, wherever he's at, however they go about it defensively, to cover those guys, get those tackles, end up in the backfield, whatever the case could be. He's got to be a guy that you have to keep an eye on. On the other side, Fred Payton, not the best day at the office, a little over 50% throwing, 60 yards rushing, but hey, that is not a bad stat line for your dual threat style quarterback. Now, I expect more of it because Sioux Falls' defense is not as good as other defenses. We'll see what happens. Truly, we'll see what happens, but I'm expecting those numbers to be pumped up a little bit, maybe closer to 200 yards passing this week, We'll see. I know I just said that about Elijah Reed, but hey, if you can, manipulate that Sioux Falls defense, penalties, whatever the case could be, you should be able to score some points here. Defensively, Harrison Poole, 5.5 tackles. You got blown out by Frisco. There's not a lot defensively that you can really rely on last week and say, who's someone to look out for this week? I'd put Ulick Jones. I'd put Sir Zion Dance. Their stats didn't pop out to me. I put Harrison Poole here because I think it's going to be on the other side as well. Carlos Thompson, Kentrez Bell. Are you going to open up that passing game? Well, then you need those defensive backs, and we'll talk about it in a minute because one got cut. Harrison Poole, Jabari Gorman, Byron Murray, can't remember which way it was. You need those guys to step up. By process of elimination, you can guess who got cut, but you need that secondary to step up and shut down that passing game. Simple as that. Don't even give them a chance. Easy. Easier said than done, I get it, but there we go. Series history, these guys have never met. First series meeting in history, to be expected Jacksonville's first year. Storm are favored by 5 points. Money line is juiced to them and an over-under of 83.5. So not a lot of points here. We'll see if they can score some. Let's go take a look at our injury report, our rosters, bets, predictions, and we will get on out of here. All right, so injury report here for Sioux Falls and Jacksonville. We've added 2 guys to the season injured reserve list for Sioux Falls. Rashad Mungro, welcome back. You just got signed and now you're out for the year. Sucks to happen, but injuries happen, man. All the best to you. Hopefully you get, the care you need, I guess. I don't even know what he was injured with. I didn't see him go out, but I guess that might have been why Claude Davis was playing. So here's to hoping the injuries get recovered. Defensive back Kendricks Gladney Jr. He's bumped up from short-term to season-ending injury. Well, you got someone else on the defensive back for Sioux Falls. Needs to step up. Short-term injured, Amin Black. He is popped up on here. You have to have someone fill that role. We'll see. I'm not really sure. We'll talk about it in the 25-man roster. We'll take a look at it and see who might be able to fill that spot. Refuse to report. I only put these on here once a week because then if they do sign, I'll put them on the roster. If they don't, then they're practically cut. I know they're not, but pretty much. Andreas Lilly, he refused to report. Simple as that. On the Jacksonville side, not really much of a change. The only person that came off was Anthony Hayes because he got cut. Simple. Let's go take a look at our 25-man rosters and our bet and our predictions. Alrighty, 25-man roster. As always, let's start with the away team. Offensively, they've signed Nick Ehlers. Nick Ehlers was with the Barnstormers for a couple of games last year. I don't know if he actually... No, he got into a game, didn't he? I think he got into at least one game. Anyway, he is now the backup to Lorenzo Brown. All signs point to Brown being the starter going forward. Not really much else offensively for the Sioux Falls Storm. Defensively, they have signed Darren Primes from last year. He was with Duke City. He's played a couple of games with San Antonio. So to have him fill in on the defensive line, we'll see. They've also signed Marquise Burks on the defensive line side. I think one of those guys is going to have to play linebacker unless you're getting a defensive back in there to do it. Speaking of defensive backs, the only change has been they have signed Rome Weber. Everyone else stays the same. So Williams, Vasson, McCoy, Reed, and Harrell, are probably going to be your 4 starters. They've started before. We'll see. But yeah, Rome Weber in there. He might be the linebacker. I'm not sure. It'll be curious to see who takes that spot when the defense comes out for Sioux Falls. That's really my big question mark. Everything else probably going to stay the same. On the Jacksonville side, offensively, nothing changes. Fred Payton probably your starter. Stanley Williams changed his number. There's another number change in there we'll talk about. Richie Coffey. But yeah, on the offensive side, nothing. Defensively, they have signed I'm going to butcher his name. I know I'm going to butcher his name. Felicia Russell. Perfect. They've signed Felicia Russell. I think that's... I know I butchered it. They've signed him to the defensive line, probably as an opportunity to really pump up that defensive line. They need to get pressure when it matters most. Defensive backs. I still have Dejon Warren there as like a trade between them and Massachusetts. He is not on Massachusetts' roster. He is not on Jacksonville's roster. I don't know if he was traded and then cut. I still have him there, though, just in case. We'll see. Richie Coffey, I don't think he played or suited up last week, but he was signed last week, I believe, by Jacksonville. He is now number 12. Other than that, everything else stays the same for the Sharks. So there you go, 25-man rosters. Let's go take a look at our bet and our prediction. I'll move on with another preview. Best bet, money line. If not now, when? If not now, when? If Jacksonville does not win this game, season's done. Same thing on the Sioux Falls side. I'll talk about it more in the prediction and stuff like that. Jacksonville at home, with the injuries, the penalties, the bad snaps, and everything that Sioux Falls has gone through to this point. If not now, when do you get your next win? I don't know. I think this is the time. On the Jacksonville side, at least. On the Sioux Falls side, we'll talk about that because I've got Jacksonville winning. But Sioux Falls can do the same thing. They can win this game too. I guess we'll talk about it more in the predictions. I'm gonna shine Jacksonville here. I think they have a chance to win this game. They do. They did not look good against Frisco. Let's call a spade. But a lot of that was turnovers. A lot of that was just dumb, stupid mistakes. If they can clean that up, and I know I'll say the same thing for Sioux Falls in a minute. If they can clean that up, I think Jacksonville has a chance here to really win this game. Not big. They got a chance to win it. Going Jacksonville money line. Let's go look at our prediction, and we'll wrap up. All right, prediction. Boom. 45-40. I have Jacksonville winning. Like I said, if not now, when? I can see Sioux Falls winning. I can. But I just think the amount of mistakes, the amount of high snaps, penalties, turnovers, just shooting yourselves in the foot around every corner you get, Sioux Falls has that innate ability right now to just let victory slide right away from them. They've lost to Quad City twice by stupid mistakes. They've had other games, Massachusetts, they just shot themselves in the foot time and time again. Jacksonville has been close on winning some games, and they have not been close on winning some games. They are very back and forth. They almost beat Massachusetts way back when. It seems like forever ago, but that was a close game. I think it was, 26-21 or something like that? Very low scoring. And then last week, destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Sioux Falls is not Frisco. And just on the other side, Quad City is not Jacksonville. If you catch what I'm trying to say here, these are two teams vying for a chance to at least hopefully still have a shot at the playoffs. There's no draft. There's no way of going through this after it's just a dead season, it seems. You can play spoiler. Jacksonville needs this win. Sioux Falls needs this win. That's why I am so intrigued by this matchup. It's the reason why I will be watching this one intently, because the winner of this game still has the teensiest shot at the playoffs. They still have to play a whole bunch of Eastern Conference teams. You hope those teams beat each other up and lose and cannibalize each other, and you have a shot. If you lose this game, though, if whoever loses this game is 1-7, which means the best you can do is rattle off 7 wins and you only go 9-7. I don't think that's getting you into the playoffs. Very, very slim chance, and you're not winning 8 in a row. Sorry. At least going 2-6 right now, you still have a chance to at least maybe get a playoff spot. I think Jacksonville has that ability. I look for them to better those chances. 45-40 Sharks. So that's my prediction. That's my bet. Rosters, injury report, all of that stuff. The whole preview. We're done. I appreciate you guys watching. Got more previews to do. Take the time to watch them all if you want. Just watch this one, cool, fine by me. But anyway, I'm going to take off here, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you guys watching, taking the time out to watch this video, watch all the other ones, watch the channel, subscribe, do all that stuff. As always, love you, appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.